Hey guys, how you going? Kellen Brogan here from Primum Movements, Primum Training, and affiliate with the Six Figure Mentors by Stuart Ross and Jay Kubasek. Today, I don't really have a message. All I want to leave you with is to really don't take life for granted. I know I've said this a billion times, but I've just caught up with my brother for lunch. We're going to watch the AFL, which is Australian Rules Football, at Subiaco, where the West Coast Eagles is playing a game today, which is the team we support. But yesterday, my brother got into an altercation, got into a fight, because some idiots out there, some intoxicated fools, decided to try and cut the line to a club that they were lining at. Now, this fool had happened to be already being kicked out by security because he was acting up. Now, he asked my brother to line up with him, and my brother said no, obviously, nicely, but no. Well, I don't even know if my brother said it nicely, but he said no, and this guy pushed him, and then my brother pushed him back, which he stumbled over because he was drunk, obviously, and didn't have his bearings or his footings. And my brother turned away, and this guy hit him and then ran off. So there was a chase involved, and he finally got caught by the cops. But the damage had been done. I think my brother's got a little bit of a bruised lip and maybe a chipped tooth because of it. And I think he's decided to press charges, but besides from that, guys, think about what you're doing next time. I mean, I know you're trying to have a good time under the intoxication of alcohol. You're trying to enjoy yourself and have some fun, but then it makes you do some silly, stupid things, and you got to be careful of how it can hurt others. Your actions. You got to be mindful of that. You putting yourself in that position to act out violently and then hurt someone, you never know how that could change his life, her life, or their family's life, which is the most important thing. Same thing like drinking and driving. It's so dangerous. I know when you're in the moment, you get caught up, you do some silly things, but it's just so vital that you really understand it, guys. And coming from a place, I can't say that I've been there. I've always been quite responsible. I've always been that big brother or fatherly figure with my mates and my brothers, especially being the oldest of four boys, taken on that role of looking after everyone. So I've never got myself in that position where I couldn't control myself. Yeah, please, guys, don't put yourself in that position. Think before you act sometimes. I know it's hard to do, but try. Just try. And don't be a hero. Like, there's nothing in life where matters have to resort to violence, and I think that's an important message. Whether it be in the streets or domestic violence, you shouldn't come to what's the word? Physical harassment. There you go. It shouldn't become physical. Okay, so speaking of physical, I'm going to go watch the game where the game is going to be physical because we're a physical team, and so is the other team. And enjoy your weekend, guys. Peace. Drink safely, drink responsibly, and I love you. Bye. Hey guys, how you going? Kellen Brogan here from Primum Movements, Primum Training, and an affiliate of the Six Figure Mentors by Stuart Ross and Jay Kubasek. Now, if you don't know who Stuart Ross and Jay Kubicek are, look them up. They're the founders of an education system of affiliate and internet marketing called Six Figure Mentors. You can find more information on my website, kenscottonline.com. But enough of that plug. I'm going to get into some pretty raw and real story. It's a true story about my life. Excuse me. It's a true story about my life. And it's a story that resides pretty deep within me. It's a bit emotional to tell people sometimes my story, but I do like sharing it just because I've learned so many life lessons from this story. And the story has to do with my father. Now, being the eldest of 4 siblings, all boys, my mum's the only lady in the family. Our dad, me and my brother's dad, was the biggest role model in our life and still is today. But his mistakes in life I've taken away so that I can become a better businessman, a better man, a father someday. So where should I start off? Okay. So business, right? Business. We're talking about straight up business. My dad started a construction firm. Well, my dad's always been in construction. He's always been around buildings and construction things. So that always pushed me as my role model to go into the construction field. So much so that I went to engineering for 5 years to study civil engineering. Went to uni for 5 years to study civil engineering, right? Which I don't practice at the moment. I did practice it for 5 years outside engineering, but I don't practice it at the moment. So that's one thing that my father, he didn't push me. That was a decision I made, but it's how much impact my father had on me, let's just say. So a few years ago, let's say about 5 years ago, he started a kitchen and bathroom renovation business. Now, at the start, business was booming. I mean, there was so much demand. He was growing. After a year and a half, he had about $200,000 to $250,000 in the bank cash. That's how much money he had made after a year and a half, right? Which got him thinking, oh, let's expand. Not thinking about the economy coming. I don't think anyone could have predicted the economic downturn, the economic impact that the mining drop had in Perth at that time, a few years back. But my old man thought to himself, hey, I've got all this money in the bank, why don't we expand? So in that expansion phase, he opened up a new showroom. He hired more staff to look after that showroom. He hired more builders, hired more trades. He went to Italy to source out more products, expensive products, and for a time, everything was great because he thought, oh, you know, I've expanded, blah blah blah. I'm doing all these things. Everything's good, but little did he know that the economy in Perth was gonna drop at a massive rate. Kitchens and bathrooms are luxury, guys. Not everyone does it, right? People only generally do it when they buy real estate and they want to quickly do it up and turn it over for a profit. Developers, I mean, or that, I don't know, an older family has been living at their house for a long period of time, and after 20 years they're sick of their old kitchen and they need new appliances and their oven's not working and they don't have a range hood and all these things. So I mean, that's the only reason why people have kitchens and bathroom renovations. I would, it's a luxury. So if you have money in the bank, you've got cash to spend, that's when you spend it. And at that time, people didn't have any money to spend on luxuries like that. So my dad went into debt. He started borrowing from the bank, 100,000, 200,000, and business wasn't picking up. Now, this might be common sense to you guys, but for those that don't know, to be able to borrow money from the bank, the banks aren't stupid. You have to prove to the bank that you are good for the cash. Because the bank's not just going to lend anyone $100,000, $200,000 if they can't pay them back. The banks are making more money these days than they ever have before, ever. With interest. For doing nothing. They're printing money, guys. They're printing money. And for those that don't understand how banks work, go on YouTube and just type into YouTube, how do banks work? The bank scheme, you know, bank corruption, all these things. And you'll start to figure out how banks work and how much money they're just printing every single day. So my dad borrowed money from the bank with our family home as guarantor to the debt money. So I think you can guess where this story is going. My dad ended up losing all the money from the business, going bankrupt, and actually losing about $250,000, along with some personal credit cards that he had maxed out that he couldn't pay. That was killing him in interest. Like, he had debt up to his neck. So the only solution was to sell the family home, whatever money was in the family home, to pay off the debt. Now, the family home was worth more than the debt, but with the credit card loans, it equated to quite a bit of sum. So me and my brothers, who were fortunate to have steady jobs at the time, and I was fortunate to be working in an engineering job, a well-paid engineering job at the time, to be able to afford a loan with my brothers to buy the family home. Right? Now, I don't know what the relationship that you and your parents have, but for me, I owe my life to my mum and dad. Like, I would not be here in this lovely country with an engineering degree, with a well-paid job, with money in the bank, with a roof over my head, being able to afford a car like this that I'm driving right now, if not for my mum and dad. So I owe them everything that I have. And you couldn't put a dollar sign on, you know, that feeling that I owe them. So happily, we were happy to help them out. But the real lesson that I learned from my father through this was, alright, family first was the first one. Always work your butt off too. But business-wise, don't expand until you've ticked all the boxes. You can sort of guess the future outcome. If you can't do those things, guys, you shouldn't be throwing your money away expanding. I mean, he could have bought another house and been safe for the rest of his life. Rented it out, made passive income from it, which would have helped his cash flow situation. All these things. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed my little story today that I've shared. I hope you can take a little bit from that. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment below what you think, and I hope to talk to you all soon over email. See ya, bye.